Okay, so this is going to be a fairly short lecture because I imagine most of you are pretty good with your subject-verb agreement. I just want to make sure that we don't have any issues with it as we're going forward. So, as it says, can't we all just get along? We just need the verbs and the subjects to get along with one another so that we're using the correct verb with the subject that of the sentence. So again, singular subjects go with singular verbs. Everyone here looks like they'll be single. So we say the bank opens at 10 o'clock. We don't say the bank open at 10 o'clock or the banks opens at 10 o'clock. So we have a singular subject, the singular verb. And the opposite of nouns, for the most part, plural verbs, not always, but most of the time, just do not have the S while the singular does. So that's the opposite of what we see when we see subject. All right, and then again, the plural subjects go with plural verbs. The banks open at 10 o'clock in the morning. So here we've dropped the S off the open and moved it over to the banks. We have more than one bank now. They open. Open is the plural verb. Now, the verb always agrees with the subject, never the complement. So the complement is uh, the information that's given about the subject. So John is the president of the chess club, and he is the president of the swimming club. The complement is the president of the chess club president. So what we have to go with is he, John. John's our subject. With is our preposition. French fries is the noun. It's actually fries is the noun that completes that prepositional phrase. It's plural, but we don't care. Our subject is a hamburger. And so it's got to be a singular verb, cost. You don't say a hamburger with French fries cost $2. Thinking that because we got French fries, we got a plural. That isn't part of the subject. As I said in a lecture last week, the object of the prepositional phrase, the noun or the pronoun that finishes it, has nothing to do with the subject and therefore nothing to do with the subject verb agreement. I'm going to give you another example of this on the last slide, which is 2 slides from now, to show you why this matters. Now, be very especially careful when there's an inverted word order. So the sentence isn't subject, verb, direct object. Here we've done direct object or prepositional phrase first and then the rest. So behind the lamp in the corner was the statue. So here my subject is statue, and so my verb has to be was. So the statue was behind the lamp in the corner. And again, though, behind the lamp, behind the preposition, so behind the lamp's a prepositional phrase. In the corner, in is a preposition. Corner finishes that, so in the corner gets crossed out behind the lamp. The only part of the sentence you have to worry about is was the statue. So you got to say, well, it's got to be singular. All right, so reiterating the prepositional phrase. Why this is an issue uh, is in this example. As I say, the prepositional phrase has no effect on the subject verb agreement. So is it one of the stores is having a sale or one of the stores are having a sale? Many times when I'm in class doing this, half the class will say is, the other half will say are. The half that is saying are is because they're focusing on stores. But of is a preposition. Stores is the noun that finishes that prepositional phrase. So you cross that out. So it's one is having. And this is why you got to be careful of the prepositional phrase and not allow that to mess with you. All right, so that's it for that lecture. If it turns out when the first papers come in, there's a lot of subject verb agreement errors, then I'll give you a longer lecture on this. But for the most part, this is one area of grammar that most people are pretty good, except for the prepositional phrase issue. All right, so that does it for that.